day 35, and I am sad to report that my weight is going up again. So I was 172.4 pounds today, which is almost a pound and a half up from yesterday. And if I look back to the beginning of this week, it's almost a half a pound up this week in general. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe I am not in a calorie deficit, which is kind of a bummer, because I don't want to cut my calories. I would love to move more, but it's so hard for me to get time to do that. But one of my subscribers, Stephanie, if you're watching this, recommended like a mommy and me video. And I looked on YouTube, and there's a lot of those out there, like workouts that you can do where you incorporate your baby. So I might try to start doing that more, since that's really the limiting factor, is just trying to manage him while I'm doing a workout. I've also thought about taking him to my gym with me, where I used to go all the time before I gave birth, but that also sounds really challenging. Like, he can only handle being in the carrier for so long, and we both get pretty hot. I could see us getting really hot at the actual gym, and I don't know. I almost got sent into a full-on crab swirl when I saw my weight this morning. I weighed myself like at least 5 times to just check and make sure that that number was accurate. And that's my breakfast in the microwave. And yeah, I think it is. A video popped up on my YouTube feed, this channel that I follow that you should follow too if you're interested in whole food plant-based stuff. Lean by Nature. Her name's Amber. She's been posting a lot lately. She has a lot of experience with plant-based diets, and she's very lean. And she posted a video about like the number on the scale and what that could mean. And I'll share a link to it, but I found it really helpful because I know this, but sometimes you just need to like hear it from other people and be reminded that there are a lot of things that go into your weight. And especially when you eat a lot of carbohydrates, even though I'm eating healthy carbohydrates, if I am under fueling myself, then my glycogen stores will be low and I'll weigh a lot less because glycogen carries with it a lot of water. So if I am fueling myself more, then I might not necessarily be gaining fat. I could just be refilling my glycogen stores and retaining more water as a result of it. So essentially it would be like water weight, like fuller muscles. So maybe that's what's going on. I really don't feel like I'm overeating because I'm generally a bit hungry when I go to bed, and I wake up really hungry, and I feel like I'm just overall kind of eating a little bit underneath of my hunger drive, but who knows? But I've decided that, I'm trying to play the long game here. I'm not trying to do just a quick crash diet. I want to keep the weight off for good. And so I need to see the end goal here, and that, realistically, when I started, I was 30 pounds away from my goal. And if I were to even just lose 1 pound a week, that would take like half a year and a little more than half a year. And that's still pretty aggressive. A pound a week is like a 500 calorie deficit a day, which is not nothing. So if I were to go even slower, let's say half a pound a week, then that's an entire year to lose this weight. So I need to just kind of slow my roll a little bit. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I am going to try to incorporate more workouts and maybe do them with the little guy. So that's my plan. And I'm starting off the day with a bunch of baby carrots. There's cut up bell pepper in here, cucumber, celery, and apples. I'm going to munch on some of this, and I'll just have this throughout the day. And then I have my overnight oats, sweet potato style, in the microwave. So I'm going to grab that. Here's my main breakfast. These are roasted Japanese sweet potato with the skin removed. And I cut up a bunch of apple, banana, there's frozen wild blueberry in here, and cinnamon. And I put this in the fridge overnight with some soy milk. And then I took it out and just popped it in the microwave for a few minutes. And I'm going to add just a little bit more soy milk and then have it like that. And it's actually almost 1 o'clock because after he woke up, when he went down for his first nap, he slept for like 2.5 hours. And he's been getting over some kind of bug or something. So I've really been trying to let him sleep and get as much sleep as he can. So I am hungry and I'm going to dig in. Just a close-up of all my veggies, and I have some apple slices buried in here too. Where are they? There they are. And I always peel my cucumber. I don't like that thick, waxy skin personally. And then here's my breakfast sweet potato overnight oats style. And this is just one big sweet potato with all the fruit and soy milk. Okay, buddy. I know. Yeah. Here is my second big meal of the day. This is about a pound of steamed green beans with potato, red lentil, cherry tomatoes, and then on top I put juiced half of a lemon, and I used a lot of this chipotle Tabasco. I also threw on a big dollop of this local hummus. Asmar's is the brand, and this is an oil-free hummus. And then a bunch of green onion as well. This is a huge bowl of food, probably about 2 pounds worth. It's like as big as my head, and this will probably fill me up for the rest of the night. When my boyfriend got home from work, we went for a walk outside with the baby in the stroller, and we did a little bit of jogging too, but I didn't record any of that. And I also got some time tonight to do some bodyweight exercises. My cat Leo decided to join in for a little bit, and he loved it. He has been starved for affection ever since we brought the baby home. I just can't love on him the way that I used to. So he was all over me during this, but I just did some squats, lunges, I did some push-ups, and I did 3 sets total of about 10 to 20 reps for each movement. And then when I was done with that, I did a bunch of stretching. And I feel so much better after working out and stretching, even when it's only like, this was probably about 20 minutes worth of movement. And it's nothing like what I used to do, but it still felt so good to sweat and move my body and tire out my muscles a bit. And I try to remind myself of that when I'm feeling really tired and I don't have the energy or the motivation to strength train. I try to remind myself how much better I'm going to feel after I do it, and sometimes that works. Tonight it just worked out that my boyfriend was home a little earlier than usual, so I just had more time to do a little bit more. I noticed that today I was honestly having a lot of binge urges, and I don't know if it's because of my weight going up a little bit and me just getting kind of hung up on that number, or just all the other things going on in my life right now that I want to just escape with something, and food is just so easy to do that with. I wish that I could say, if you follow this lifestyle, those kinds of urges are going to go away, and maybe for you they will, but for me, they haven't. they still come up sometimes, and it's a constant struggle for me to fight against those urges. But I'm not giving up, and I hope you don't either. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know how things are going for you on your journey, and I will check in with you tomorrow for day 36.